Hello, good morning. How are you all doing today? Sound looks good. And we have camera and background, so that's good. Kubliam, hello. How are you doing today? Remember the ECS series was very helpful for you understanding RC stuff. Made asteroids before with bevy using events. Oh, nice. Oh, and you did that on YouTube too. Okay, hold on. It's the wrong computer. I need to go over to this browser to see the links. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, and I haven't you have sound. I can actually install plug in that. So we can hear on stream. You switch to Unity because it's easier to make 2D games. Interesting. How are you liking Unity? Um my understanding of Unity for 2D at the very least is that they're not truly 2D games. Their Unity has 3D and then they have like a 2D camera essentially, where like it's still 3D engine and everything else, but they just show everything in 2D. That's my understanding of it. But I haven't really done much with Unity, so I can't really they're the only little tidbits like that is what I know of. Anyways, this looks okay. So, oh, you made a nice little top-down shooter. Well, that's pretty cool. They are not yet, but they have different rendering pipelines. I made a game 2 months ago. It's on the channel as well. It's much more complicated than this simple game. Well, hey, well, I guess that makes sense, right? Because like Unity allows there's less stuff you need to do to get something up and running. Like even with something like Bevy, there's still a lot more you need to do on your own. But yeah, that's really cool. Good job with that. Let me save this off. Yeah, Unity Editor saves you hundreds of hours. I believe that. I believe that. There's a reason why that editor plus other ones are really, really popular. That's again the wrong screen. If I want to share that video with YouTube, I need to go open up the chat over here. There we go. There is that video. Go take a look at it, and if you want to see the Unity stuff, Cubil has it there too. All right. Something I want to check out someday is Godot, because I've heard some really good things about it. It's been updating a lot. Plus, I'm not super happy with Unity's pricing that they've done. It's the pricing for game studios is already bad enough, but their pricing for non-game studios using Unity is like 1,000 times worse. Okay, so talking about Bevy and game development, let's jump back into this. So, oh yeah, and we can use Rust with Godot. Yeah, so Godot, by default, they use a Python-like language. It's not Python, but it's not. Basically they like forked Python and like updated it to them, right? GD script. It's like a Python-like language, I think, like very similar to it. But there are plugins that you can use because Godot is open source. It's a little bit easier, I believe, for other parties to like create these plugins. And one of them is a Rust language plugin that allows you to write all the scripts in Rust. And I believe Mr. Halsey was using that a lot. So we got to see a lot of Rust dev inside of Godot from there, which was really cool. Yeah, so that is definitely on my list to check out. In fact, we had when we chose to do this, one of the random things to choose from was including like a Godot game with Rust. So this could have been Rust. This could have been Godot. Okay, so I ran this right before stream, and we have a problem. Everything looks fine, but when I attempt to move the ship, I don't move. Except if I now fire. Notice how the beginning of that, the little bolts, which now that I think about it, those are really small. I don't know if you can actually see those. The beginning of the bullets were moving around. So my ship is moving, but the animation of it is not. So it's not actually updating updating the translation of the ship to the appropriate spot. So somehow in the last stream, I broke this, which is, I mean, not great, not usually what you're hoping for. So we need to figure that out. And let's see, that is, my guess is it's in the systems. And we have update positions here. Oh, so I'm getting update positions. So I remember now. We had a system. This add player? No, okay. I don't think it was the add player system. We had a system for, maybe it was apply thrust, change thruster colors. That was it. We had this system here previously, and I was also grabbing the position of the ship, and so we sort of like updated this to try to be just two different things. One is just changing the thruster colors, which we do see that is still working. And then the update positions, which that's not working anymore, except it's working for the bullets. So I'm querying for anything that has a transform. Oh, I mean, that would definitely cause the ship to not update its position anymore. I was like, it's almost as if for some reason it's not finding the ship. I don't know why that query that we explicitly say without ship isn't finding the ship. That feels weird. Okay, so now we can move the ship around. Everything's good again. Oh, and I just see that ad starts in 40 seconds or so. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively put this up on screen. Are you going to, does that work? There we go. Preemptively put that up on screen just in case. I mean, we fixed the first bug that we caused last session really quickly, so that's always a good sign, right? Now, the next thing was the bullet type stuff. Right now, I can fire infinite bullets and make pretty little patterns like this, which is great. Like, that's kind of fun to watch and really cool. But in the actual, like, this would make it a little bit too easy to play because you could just, well, put bullets across the entire world and everything, is just bullets, right? So let's, I have a couple different ideas. One of my first ideas was to use a pool, like a bullet pool, to store like 3 bullets in, let's say, and then I can only fire 3 bullets. So that's something that I would like to do. Another thing would be I can only fire a bullet every X seconds, like maybe every half a second or every 1 second or something like that. I guess another thing is I might want to look into only when I press the spacebar down, can it fire 1? So I have to actually release the spacebar and then go again. That's also another, I mean, if I do that, you can still spam firing, but I do like the sort of like the difficulty ramp up of you only have 3 bullets in the world at a time. So currently we have this fire bullet. And so in fire bullet, okay, I'm getting commands. I'm getting a fire query. I'm getting ship query, materials, meshes. I could also get all the bullets itself. Let's see. This is, okay, so I'm going to query firing. Oh, but that firing. So I could input firing. I could also update you. Okay, so question that we have to answer here. Whose job is it to determine whether or not we actually can fire? Input firing is taking it with the input and determining like, hey, am I pressing the button to fire? Which in this case is the space bar. Is that, should this be in charge of saying like, yeah, I am firing or not based upon if I've attempted to fire before? Or should I just keep this as trues and falses? So it's like, hey, the button is down to fire, but then the actual like create the bullet is in charge of saying, yeah, you want to fire, but that doesn't mean you can fire. I don't know. Like, I can see arguments for both cases. I feel, so like my initial gut feeling is that my fire bullet should be in charge of this. So I should add a new query here. So this will just be bullet query. And I'm looking for basically just the count of bullets, right? Anything that has this bullet in here. And when I'm creating a bullet, we're adding this marker component to it, right? Yeah, this marker component bullet. So I can query for this. So let's grab you here. So if you do bullet query, oh no, wait, this is a for in. Oh, can I actually just get the count of it? So bullet query, I can get an iter and then count. Okay, that gives me a U size. So then I want to do an early return, sort of like similar to what I'm doing here. I want to do an early return here to say like, hey, if we have 3 bullets already, 3 or more bullets, let's go ahead and not fire. And we'll just set firing to false and then go from there. So it won't even just go on to the next tick. It'll just, that'll be it. So if bullets is greater than or equal to 3, then I want to say firing.0 is equal to false and return. Now, when I update you, I believe you're updating in the location in memory. I don't need to do anything else to it. I think that actually updates it. And so that moves it down there. Okay, so now I should only be able to fire 3 at a time. Of course, I can fire all 3 at a time like 1 frame after the other, which is really, really fast. Like it's almost as if they're 1 bullet because they're too close together. They're too close together. So that's great. So I also need a timer. And I believe that when I create the bullet, we can have a timer that counts down so that like firing timer. And I want to say that I don't have a timer elsewhere in here. Creates a new timer with a given duration in seconds. Okay, so I could do new. Yeah, so let's do this. So duration from, let's do milliseconds so I can basically play around with this a little bit more. So we'll do 500 milliseconds and then a timer mode. And I want this to be repeating. I think that's how that works. And so we'll add in to this bullet here, the firing timer. Now this is a timer itself, which means that this is the only timer that we can have. Oh, okay. So timer is not satisfied. Timer is not something I can throw into a bundle, right? Yeah, it's not the trailing comma, so I'm not allowed to put a timer in. Interesting. Okay, so that's the wrong type. Let's take a look at the cheat sheet. Timer allows you to detect when a certain interval of time has elapsed. Timers have a set duration. They can be repeating or non-repeating. Both kinds can be manually reset. Start counting the time interval from the beginning and paused when they are not in okay, yeah. Repeating timers will automatically reset themselves after they reach their set duration. Oh, so maybe I don't want repeating? Used finish to detect when a timer has reached its set duration. Use just finished if you need to. Okay, yeah. Oh, so the fuse time is the type here. And if we take a look, oh, where's, oh, I don't see fuse time. But fuse time is okay, so it's a struct with a single item in it. I keep on thinking of saying arm. I skipped at the top. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. I mean, me and reading on stream is a thing, or rather, is not a thing. I don't do reading on stream very well. Apparently, I don't do it very well off stream either. I read, but like for some reason I keep on skipping skipping lots of things. I think I'm just less patient these days than I used to be. So thank you for that, Asitsu. All right, so I can basically create a firing timer, which is going to be this timer. And then I can component this. So I have to wrap this in a component, which we can do that. So we can head over to our components. Let's do a pub struct firing timer. Throw that in there, except we know that you need to just have the timer. Except, you know what? You only have this one thing in here. This might as well be a tuple struct where we have a public timer. Hey. Yeah, import timer like that. Okay. Then we have, okay, so firing timer. Now I create a timer like this, so I want a firing timer like you. Okay, so now we have this firing timer, And then I believe you should be happier when I add this in. So firing timer, because you are a component now. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's wrapped in a custom component, which makes sense since you can only have one of each type, which I remember we did that exact same thing in the ECS that we created. Was we basically suggested always wrap it in your custom types, because otherwise you could only have like a single F32 or timer in this case, or something else. All right, I don't know if the firing repeating is a good idea or not, but we're going to find out. So you're going to come in here, which means that I can now, when firing, okay, so I want the bullet query, so I want the bullet plus the firing timer. Wait a second. I don't want this to be in here. This is on each individual bullet, and I don't want a timer on each individual bullet. I want the timer on, well, the equivalent of the gun, right? Which would be the ship? I think it would be the ship, right? See here, it'll be fairly easy for me to recreate that. Now I'm already getting the ship, aren't I? Ship query, yeah. So I think we need to set the firing timer on the ship, because the ship is in charge of firing it. If I ever do like opponent, like AI opponent or something like that, they would also have the same limitation. Otherwise, they would just be able to fire forever. And that would be kind of silly. Even though at the moment I don't have a plan for that, but it's possible that we can do a ship with like there's that UFO in the original Asteroids game. We may do something like that. Okay, so that means when I create the ship, so add player, I need the firing timer, and your start as nothing. You start as nothing. So basically, I want the timer to start when I start firing. So it's almost like I could do something where you're not allowed to fire until the timer finishes, because we start it with a certain value. Okay, so if I do a firing timer is a firing timer, and then we have a timer, we'll have a duration from milliseconds. Let's do 500 this time, because I'm not able to fire to begin with until we get there, and then we're going to do timer mode repeating, and then we'll add this into here. So firing timer. Okay, so with that, and now in fire bullet, when I get the ship query, I also want to get the firing timer, except I probably need you to be mutable, don't I? So I can reset the timer if we're indeed firing. Is it mute like that? I think it is, right? So mute firing, or is it, no, it's just mute. So mute firing timer. Okay, so now we have our firing timer. So if you're finished, so if the firing timer is finished, completed, what was it? It was use .finish to detect when the timer. Okay, so firing timer, you're not helping me. That's not a good sign. Oh, yeah, right, because there's that there. Okay, so if firing timer 0 finished, you had to look on bevy and how the query was retrieved. You had to look at bevy and how the query was retrieving stored state. I just didn't grok. We haven't looked at that myself. So it is a pretty cool from the user side, from like our developer side of like getting of that query. I like it a lot. It's really nice. I can imagine they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes to get that to work. So maybe we'll take a look at that at the end of all this. Sort of like after we use bevy, just like take a look a little bit at how they're actually doing the query. Okay, so if the firing timer 0 is finished, then what do I want to do? I want to restart the timer, and we're going to continue on because we're firing, right? But that may not be true, right? Because that happens over here. So I should really only do this at this point in time. Like if we get past, okay, so we have enough bullets. we are pressing the fire button. So if we get to this point of time and the timer is finished, now we want to then continue on. So we want to restart the timer, right? So firing timer 0, restart. Resets the timer. The reset doesn't affect the pause state of the timer. Okay, so we reset the timer and then we continue on. Otherwise, the timer is not finished, so we just return and we exit early. You're just trying to understand the signature of functions like that for when you wanted to write your own. Okay, so the signature was a little bit more complex and nice. Cannot borrow firing timer 0 is mutable as it is behind a reference. Firing timer is okay. Why? Let's see. What have I done? I have a mutable reference to a firing timer there. You're a... Wait a second. Are you just a... No, I can't do... Okay, yeah. So I need that there. But this shows me it's a... Because I'm looking at this right here. Reference to firing timer. Oh, wait. Do I need this to be a mutable reference to the ship query? Then I mute that. Firing timer is still just a reference to firing timer, which is not what I wanted. Cannot borrow firing timer 0 as mutable as it's behind a reference. Okay. What did we... let's see. So firing query. Oh, I just got that as a single mute. Now I do only have a single... Oh, wait. Ship query single. I didn't see that. We want that to be a single mute too. So I don't need this. Okay, I don't need this here. Ship query cannot mutate immutable variable ship query. So you need to be... you need to be mute. Like that. Okay. Now it's happier. So now the timer should reset. And this should work as expected. You know what? Before I even test this, I'm going to make the bullets larger so you can see them a little bit better. So I want bullet mesh with scale. So I did 2. That's a little bit too small. Let's do something like 15. Let's try that. Is a timer not a complex solution? Can you just set a future date time at which a bullet can be fired? I probably could do that also. Looking at the timer here, it looks like they're both stopwatches. And I don't know, like the timer feels like, yeah, maybe it's complex, but also the implementation of it, I'm not sure if it's more or less complex than also setting a future date and time. Because I don't have to check it, right? I could just do finished on it. And then the other side is I could do the stopwatch and just check to see elapsed. So either of these, I think I can get to the same place with either of these. At least that's what it feels like. Okay, well, spacebar doesn't fire at all anymore. So I have successfully removed the ability to fire a bullet at all. So either the timer never... So it's probably getting past all of these, and then finished is never being called. That's my guess. Finished is never being called. And I wonder if I can do something like a debug, firing timer elapsed, returns the time elapsed on the timer, guaranteed to be between 0 and duration. Oh, I wonder... Oh, this will be interesting. I wonder if it's because I'm doing a repeating timer. So as soon as it hits 0, it resets itself, which means it's never finished. That's a guess. So my guess is that we're going to see time sort of jumping up and down in the debug here. That's my guess. Timer elapsed 0 nanoseconds? That should be finished, right? Then each time you fire a bullet, you set the next bullet time to be X seconds into the future. Yeah, I mean, yes, that's something we can do. Which apparently is the same thing because the timer counts up as well behind the scenes. So I could just use a stopwatch, which would be what you're talking about. And then I can just check the stopwatch to see how many seconds it is. But I guess like if you think of a countdown, that's kind of a future date and time, right? I'm saying, hey, I want to be able to fire in the future. So also I'm wondering if, well, okay, it's not firing the first time. So that's a problem. Let me try. Okay, where's ship? Did I miss something from the tutorial? I mean, probably. Oh, tick the time. Wait, I have to tick the timer myself? Oh, I always thought that the timer was ticking on its own. Okay. Wait. So this is a different tick. This is a different timer. This is off of config, which they don't show here. Timer's got to be ticked to work. Oh, okay. So I've got a tick with a time delta. This is a timer to fire the bullet. This is a timer to be able to fire the bullet. And we're probably going to use another timer for deleting the bullet. So it's going to be both. We're going to have two timers. Okay, so if I copy you, so it's timer tick, and then we pass in time delta. So this wouldn't be in there. This would be in input firing. I actually don't want, okay, so input firing is probably not the right one to do, right? Or maybe it is. Do I want like an update timers? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, so we will put this on fire bullet here. And the first thing that we should do is get the query. Okay, so we get the ship here. And then I should tick the timer immediately before we do any early exits out, because this is running every single, I was going to say tick, every single frame. So we will do firing timer and then tick. Okay. What are you upset about? Oh, this takes one argument. So we actually have to pass in the delta time. So what was it? It was like time res time, I think. Time delta time. Oh, ad break. Okay, time delta. So there we go. Now if we run this again, probably without that debug statement. Nope, I didn't need a resource again. Yeah, okay, so now I have all three of my bullets in here, and I can't fire anymore, even if the timer is expired, which is exactly what we wanted to see. So, okay, I think it's working. So next up would be the timer for the lifetime of the bullet. And so I want a new component, and this is going to be bullet timer. Okay, so if we get past all of this, we're creating a bullet timer, creating a bullet mesh. Oh, ad break ended. Yes, the problem you're modeling is a maximum number of bullets having a finite lifetime, and a cooldown between firing shots. Yeah, basically that. So let's do bullet timer. So it's not the firing timer, it's the bullet timer, right? So the bullet timer is now going to be a bullet timer, timer new. We're going to have a duration from, I probably want this to be from milliseconds, right? So from millis. Let's do, I'm just going to do 1 second for right now, but we're going to play around with that. Interesting that the state of the craft is dependent upon the number of live bullets. Tying the states together when each entity would be separate. Yeah, there's I think in the original system and with a lot of game dev type stuff, a pool is used more frequently, where I would just I would have a pool of bullets, and then I would query for bullets that were dead, and if the bullet was dead, I'm allowed to use it. Otherwise, I don't use it at all. And that's an alternate way of doing this. And then I need I don't need to count the number of bullets I have, because I just have however many are in the state at any one time. After that, it's choosing, it's still limiting how often I can fire, but that, and it's still determining how long it can live. So it's basically one less thing, or it's mutating the way that one of them works. I think that's how that works. Okay, so we have a timer mode. Now this should be a once, so timer mode once. So we have our bullet timer. Okay, bullet timer. Okay, we go with that. That's good. And we're gonna want a new system to delete the bullet from the world. So let's see. This is how do I create? Is it just systems or just normal functions? Right? Yeah, just normal functions. Here. So I think they have to be public because I have to add them in somewhere. Okay, so this is going to be delete. I probably want a different system for handling the collision of bullets with asteroids or anything else. This is really just going to be delete bullets, delete expired bullets or something like that. So we're going to have the query for this, which is going to be a mutable reference to a query. And inside of here, we're going to have the bullet timer. And that's it, right? And then we have the body of our function. So I'm going to for bullet timer in our query. I'm not getting any help, which is I guess it helps to use the function keyword, whatever. What are you upset about? The trait bullet timer query data is not satisfied. What did I do wrong? Let's see. I have query mute. I did the wrong. Did I do the wrong? Let's see. Firing query. So mute firing query. I did do the wrong style. So it's mute like that. I don't think I have a mute there. You have a mute here though, right? Okay. So now I can do that. All right. So we have our bullet timer, and I want to check to see if the bullet timer is expired. Okay. So do you need to mutate the timer? I need to tick the timer, don't I? I need to tick the timer. So first off, I need to bullet timer tick, which means I need time. So get the delta. Okay, so we tick the timer to begin with. You need to be mute here. WRT ECS, what are the components you've set up? The components that I have are these. So we have position, velocity, rotate speed, rotation, thrust, firing, main camera, bullet, ship, firing timer, and we're just adding bullet timer in right now. So that's what I've got. Okay, so if you're finished, so if this specific bullet timer is finished, I want to delete because I'm interested in the deletion stuff. So if I want to delete, we're going to need the ID of the query, which is it commands that I need to get for this specific one? How am I going to get the ID? So it's not delete, remove. Oh, despawn, maybe? Despawn. That's not your reading on how ECS works. It feels you've got, and yeah, I might be using a little bit here for something like that. I mean, I'm basically just setting a lot of separate components and separating them out, right? So an OO view would be you're putting more than one thing on a component, right? More than one thing into a specific component. And so the components are shared across different things. But yeah, I could do a timer. I need to make sure I get the right timer. So like it needs to be a separate type of timer. Otherwise I might get the wrong entities timers because I'm just storing little bits of data separately, and they're going into the equivalent of like a vector or something like that. It doesn't really matter what that is behind the scenes. My reading was that you'd have components such as moving, collision, player controlled, temporary. You might have those as well, right? And a ship would be moving, collision, player controlled, but a ship would be, yeah. So like I could definitely do something like that, but I could also have I would also need a position, right? Because you could have something that's not moving but still have a position. Yeah, so I could definitely do something like that. And we might add that in there. But we don't really have, in this specific thing, I don't think we have anything that doesn't move. So therefore, why would I have moving if everything moves? Oh, and moving would contain position and velocity. I don't like the idea of like containing those separately, because what if I want to query for just the position on its own without the velocity? And that's exactly what I'm doing when I'm updating the position, when I'm updating the display position for the entities. Is I don't need anything more than just the position at that point in time, because I've already updated the position through velocity in a different system. Yeah, I guess like I don't see the difference between doing something like a moving component that has position and velocity inside of it together, uh, when I can just have them separately and then query, like when I query for them, that is moving, right? Position is also needed in collision and display routines, right? But I can just query for those separately, right? In those systems. Like, I guess to me, I've always felt that having them all separated out makes it a little bit easier for me to only get what I really want out of it. I have some marker components for wanting to get specific things so I don't like accidentally get the camera or something like that, because that has happened before. There's a good Rust conference closing speech that talks about ECS and Rust. Nice. Yeah, I don't think I've read that. We did ECS a lot before when I was playing around with specs in GGEZ. I think separate is better. I would treat moving as a marker, otherwise that naming doesn't follow the rest of bevy components. Yeah, I can see moving as being a marker. Moving would be a great marker component. Absolutely, yeah. She explained it in terms of things that are drawn, things that move, things that collide, and how you build separate systems for each one. I can also see building systems around moving, but I guess it's personal preference that I don't want to have a component that has more than one piece of data in it. Like I feel like that's gonna reduce some of the benefit you get from ECS. But yeah, using a marker component for moving sounds like great. Like I think that's a great idea. If you want to get the entity ID, just call .id after spawn. Okay. Can I get the ID afterwards, or is it just sort of lost? And I need to add that in somewhere. Okay, function die. Entity can be used to get the ID of things that match the query. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so entity. We also need commands so we can despawn entities if we have to. Okay, so then that's where we get the mute commands. Okay, so that's where this is. Entity gives me the actual entity, and then I can get the entity ID off of that. Okay, so I query, so bullet timer, entity, and commands are a different thing altogether. So we have our time, and we'll do mute commands like that. Okay, so if the bullet timer 0 is finished, we're gonna commands. It's not despawn, it's not die, it's not kill. What are you? I didn't actually look like the next line down. Not remove resource, but remove might be it, right? Okay, fine. Let's look at the documentation. Despawn. Okay, so commands. Oh, that's what it is. So I have to do commands.entity. Get the entity here. So, oh, and you need. Okay, so because I'm getting multiple things now. Oh, it's just literally those two things. We do that. Get you. And we are going to get the entity ID, right? Right? Okay, and then hand in the entity ID. And then we have despawn right there. Okay, so we mark it for despawning, and I believe it will be removed from the world at the end of this tick. Cannot find type entity. Oh, we have to bring you in. Okay, so delete expired bullets. If I now go to our main library, where's my component systems? Yeah, so do add systems. This is delete expired bullets. Okay, so we add you in there. Where did that go? Oh, because I have the star in here. I forgot that I did a star on use systems to make it a little bit less long of a file. Okay, so we write everything, and now bullets should die after 1 second or so. Oh yeah, that died. Except I can't. Okay, so I can fire all the bullets like that. I mean, that feels actually, if I cap my speed, I will never be able to fire into myself. Oh yeah, I need to cap my speed, and I need to set the bullets to be firing much either faster, or I need to take into account the ship speed. The other thing that I can do is distance covered, but I'd have to write something to track how long they've come. I could I don't know, keep an entity or keep a component for like their spawn time or something. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways we could take care of that. Okay, so query is returning a list of all entities that implement all those components. Yes, that's how it works. Yeah. So yeah, and that's the reason why you want them to be separated, right? Because I don't want all of the components. I want just the components that I'm updating and working with right there. And so if I get too much, I'm going to overload the cache, specifically the CPU cache, and therefore have way more cache misses, which in an app like this, not really that big of a deal, right? It doesn't really matter. We're not going to have like that big of things that like big cache misses are going to be that big of a deal. But if we're talking about a bigger game, that could be a big deal. And it becomes like the more stuff you have going on at the same time, the bigger issue a cache miss becomes. Okay, so we have I need to play around with you. I need to make you a much faster firing. And so if we come into our systems, when we fire the bullet, I set the... Okay, so I transform that. Bullet velocity, I have velocity just equals direction. Oh, and so I basically get the rotation, so the direction that the ship is pointing. I normalize that, so it's a number between 0 and 1. And then I increase that by 500, which is just an arbitrary number I made up. So if I do something like 1,000 that I've increased it by, that'll double the speed of the bullet. But I could theoretically also increase like, okay, say take direction. Okay. It's almost like what I want to do is take the bullet mesh here. This gives me a vec3, right? So if I surround you, and then I want to add the ship velocity, which I don't think I did because I didn't pull in the component for it, right? So as part of the ship query, we can just get the velocity as well. So velocity here, ship position. So firing timer, ship velocity. Whoa, what did I do? Put that in there. Where's our direction? Okay, so add ship velocity to that, and then normalize it, and then, oh, wait, no, but do I want to normalize it at that point in time? I probably don't. I probably want to do that, and then let's make you mute, and then just do a direction plus equals to ship velocity. That's 0. To increase the speed by the velocity. So now it's going to go a little bit faster. If you fire the bullet backward, if the speeds match, then the bullet would be stationary. Yeah, that would be true, right? I am adding in a decent amount of this and then adding, so it'd have to be moving pretty fast for that to take effect. But let's take a look at what this does. So you could write a system that moves every entity that is both a position and a velocity, regardless of whether it's a ship, bullet, or asteroid. And that's actually what I'm doing right now. I have one system that it takes care of moving the ship around and moving the bullets around, which is really nice. It's the same exact logic, no matter what type of thing it is. I don't really care. Bevy is pretty smart about running in parallel, and the fewer components you take, the better. Yeah. So bullets are not great. Okay, so this is, I think I can shoot myself if I go fast enough. Actually, not. I can't shoot myself. That's pretty good. Now, I think because I'm in a angle like this and not a square, I should probably make this a square. Although I'm not going to allow myself to shoot myself. Like, I'm not going to do collision detection for, well, that may or may not be true, right? If I add the UFO in, the UFO has bullets, and that could cause problems. Here, I'm shooting backwards now, and you can see the bullets are significantly slower than when I was moving really fast. Now, realistically, you would never be able to shoot. You'd never be able to get up that highest speed because you'll probably be killed by an asteroid. Like we don't have the asteroids in yet, so it might be a non-issue. Maybe we'll see. We also started out by accidentally moving the camera with the ship. Yes, we did do that. That's where we learned that the transform is like the camera has a transform. So when I just searched for transform, yeah, it was not great. But it's a thing. Now I could have put the transform into a struct, and then that would have been easier to grab. But I instead used something called a marker component, which is just an empty component. I'm saying like, hey, give me anything that has a position and give me anything that also has like the following marker. So we just use that. Or, marker without this other marker. So maybe I can put a marker in for the camera and I want everything that's not the camera. So those are all things that we can do. Okay, so we can fire now. What's not great is that sometimes when I press the button, it doesn't fire. And I think I have a guess that it's due to the repeating nature of the timer. So in fire bullet, no, it'd be in the add player. That's add camera, whatever. It's close, right? No, it's not close. Add player. I'm creating our firing timer, and this is repeating. Let's switch this to once, because then when you reset, I think it starts over again, and maybe this will feel a little bit nicer. Yeah, every time that I press the button now. Wait, no. Okay, every time that I press the button between the timer things, it works. If I try to press it too often, it doesn't fire like faster than 1 second. 1 second or something like that. So it's much nicer now. Probably the best thing to do would be put some kind of like cooldown indicator on screen. But I'm also okay with us switching to something like 250 milliseconds. And then I can fire almost as fast as I want to, with just like some maybe not. Okay, so we have bullets. I'm okay with their distance right now. We can tweak them. Plenty of numbers for us to play around with. Okay, so with that being said and done, I do have a bunch of magic numbers. It would be nice probably to put those into consts, put those at the top of the file, or maybe have a config struct that I just have the one place that I can just sort of like tweak all the numbers of the game and make that. But I don't know. I'm not that worried about it too. So that's done. We have bullets. We have a player. We can move around. We can shoot. The bullets don't live forever, and we can only have 3 of them at a time. So that's good, right? And we have the bullets dying. So that's also nice. I was thinking about creating a config for these objects, but might be a good idea for us to add that in. Like we have a lot of numbers and other things. So let's go ahead and create. So on in source, let's just do like a config.rs. Now, when I create this, I probably want to hand it into the main library. You wouldn't create a single config file, but rather split up the systems. So, okay, before we do this then, let's think about what we're doing. Now I have the systems like this. You're thinking about splitting up the systems. I could do both, right? What I'm thinking of initially is removing all of the magic numbers. Like right here, we have this, where we have this, when I create the ship mesh, I splat 50 for the mesh, which is just the size. I'm scaling up the ship size by 50 or whatever that number is. And so if I want to move that around to somewhere, if I want to like change that, I have to go to this file, go to this line, and then update that specific single thing. Also, when I eventually do collision, having the size would be nice to reference somewhere. Although that might end up being just a component. Component add to the ship. What are you thinking of? Are you thinking of I'm not even sure how I want to spread these out. You put that in as a constant file for the ship player, but you can put them all centrally if you prefer. Yeah, I'm going back and forth on like mentally where like how I want to do this because I have the ship player. Should each okay, I guess another question, should each system have its own file? I've been putting them all into one file right now because I'm not really sure organization like how I want to organize this. And we can definitely just put them all into one file. I don't think Rust is not going to care if it's one file or one file, multiple files grouped together. I'm not sure. And I can see benefits to one file, as in, it's easier to find things, but also it's a lot more files now. And then I can just do what you're saying, put all the magic numbers for those things in the one file. You'd handle the ship and bullets separately and then split up the other systems within those. Oh. Well, okay, so what about when we have asteroids? Would asteroids get its own file? Because then there's shared things, like update positions is for both the ship and bullets. Like it does both. Shared systems would live in a shared module. Okay. So we can have basically then it's all right, so let's try that. Let's try organizing that way and sort of see how we feel about it. So we're going to start with I'm going to write, or I guess new. Well, and the other thing that I'm considering about is like, what if I just go to one file per system? Now the systems are fairly short, but it's the same principle, right? Just too many lines in a file. And so like we're trying to break this up. What are the different strategies for breaking them up? There's a lot, right? Find it easier to tab between files rather than scroll and need to look for something specific. Yeah, I get you. I think I'm at that point with the components with the systems right now. Now, if I do something like I want write source. Okay, so I probably want to create a systems folder. So maybe this will be easier over here. Let's go into source. Let's make dir or I guess we'll take a systems. Let's move the previous systems.rs to here as mod.rs. I'm a fan more of doing the mod.rs as opposed to having a name of a folder and the same name of the folder with a file. Like Rust will allow you to do both of them. I prefer this. I like to look inside of the folder for like the index or whatever, like the root of that, whatever inside of it. I feel weird having two things named the same except one is a folder and one is a .rs. That feels weird to me. Okay, and then inside of here, if I have a touch ship.rs, bullet.rs, and now when they're open up here, I just see ship. So probably what I really want is like ship systems, bullet systems. Clippy will tell you off for having foo.rs inside of foo. Well, yeah, so that definitely is the worst, right? But I usually, there's two ways of doing it. You can have a folder and then on the same level as the folder, another name with the same name as the folder.rs. So that's one way. And then the alternate way to that one would be folder and then inside the folder mod.rs. So you have a bunch of mod.rs, which is unfortunate because I kind of like when I have like 25 mod.rs open, that makes it really hard to sort of understand. But when I look, like when I do a tree view of the file structure, I also really don't like having two things named the same at the same level here too. Like it doesn't, I'm not happy no matter what. Like I feel that something needs to change to make me happy with the folder module structure with Rust. Okay, and then we have shared systems until we decide to completely get rid of this and then go move on to something else. You feel like with my setup, the external file would be better. You mean like the config, like the single config.rs? Ah, okay. Well, we have a config.rs. We can update and we'll use that. But for right now, let's go ahead and move the systems into their appropriate spots. Now, what's a camera? Like spawn camera is not a shared component. and it's not a ship, and it's not a bullet. Should it get its own? It probably should get its own file too, right? Because like if we open up, I guess in this case it's now mod. Oh, and I've broken everything, haven't I? So you need to be okay. So in lib, okay, so it's mod systems is fine. Use systems like that. Oh, actually, no wait, I haven't broken everything yet. You would probably take it a step further and create multiple plugins. Oh, plugins, yeah. It did mention that in the documentation that we can create multiple plugins to do that. When I create a camera so when I create a plugin that has the camera system in it, and you would group related systems by plugin. Oh, interesting. Now, if you have a plugin, we can play around with this. So the sort of like the question for myself to answer here is, if I have a plugin and I put a bunch of entities with their components in that plugin, will a system be able to grab things across plugins? Like if I have a plugin for the bullets and a plugin for the ship, and then let's say another plugin for the asteroids, and I want to then compare asteroids to ships, that's across two different plugins. Will that work? It makes it harder to order the systems too. I don't know if we're going to care about the order of the systems in this specific case. Now, this might be too simple of a game to try to force that complex of a organizational system. But I could also imagine where if you have like a game with different sub games in it, different other little parts of it, those would probably all make good plugins to do. Okay, a plugin that handles timed out entities, for example. So yeah, that'd be like the bullets, to time out the bullets, which is just a single system. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I would have to play with it a little bit before I jump in and decide I like it or not. Okay, so let's go into systems here. So I'm going to skip all the uses, and we're instead going to jump onto, okay, so we have our ship color ID. So this is all ship stuff, right? So I want you, and we're going to go into ship systems and start pasting you in here. Now camera is, now you were saying like do a plugin type thing, but if I don't do the plugins right now, where am I going to put this? I guess it should have its own file then, right? Like camera system. So touch camera systems. And even though it's just one thing, that's fine. So add camera, delete you, move over into camera systems, paste you in here. Let's add you in. Let's you need to add that in. Okay, so what else do we have? You need to be saved. Yeah. You're going to be upset. And then the old systems, sure, we'll save you as we're going along. Oh, wait. I did not mean to save that. Okay, hold on. I need a buffer close, and now remove the systems. Now I have two. Yeah, that's going to be confusing. Okay, so we're in mod. We just did, this is the uses, right? So add player. So this would be the ship one. And change thruster colors is a ship related one. Update positions is shared. Okay, so if I delete you, head over to ship session, add player. Okay, so we're good to go here. Update positions. We're gonna put this into shared. Rotate ship is obviously rotate, input rotate ship. We could have input systems too as like their own file. Input thrust ship. Input firing is technically the ship is firing, and that creates a bullet. Apply thrust is anything that has a thrust, which right now is ship only. Apply velocity is shared. So take you, ship. Let's go ahead and put you here. Okay, velocity wraparound entities is going to be shared. Fire bullet is obviously going to be in bullet. Delete expired bullets goes in bullet. Okay, so now if we head back into mod, you're upset because I have a bunch of, actually you're the least upset of all my stuff, right? Like you have a bunch of warnings, but you have no errors. Everything else has tons of errors. Another example is that it would handle rendering separately. The logic for thrust would add a marker component, and the rendering system would alter the display based upon that. The logic for thrust would add a marker component. I mean, it's pretty much like anything that has a thrust, right? I guess like, for example, if I wanted to add in a special missile type of ammunition that you used instead of a normal bullet, then that would have a thrust too. I mean, we're not doing that, so that maybe it's a bad example because I don't necessarily have that. But if we added a UFO, I don't know. I don't know if those are good or bad examples because I don't have any plans to implement them, but also like thinking about like how I would implement them are interesting. And what we really want to do is we want to write this in a simple way that's extendable and expandable, but also not over-engineered. Like we want that nice balance. And so we could do rendering separately as well. Wait, but rendering is, I don't have any rendering type stuff. I just have update position type things, which are not, I mean, is that rendering? That kind of is rendering, but I'm not doing the rendering myself. I'm updating for display, if that makes sense. Let's fix all the errors before we go into anything else. Okay, so module for file systems found at both. Okay, yeah, so you're going to be fine. Wait, didn't I remove systems? I removed systems.rs here. I got rid of systems here. So shouldn't you be fine? We're going to restart LSP. I guess like to me, over time, I sort of like feel that I might just break, like, I don't know. I go back and forth so much on different ways to organize systems together that sometimes I might feel like I just should just separate out each system to its own file. What did I do before? What did I do in the course or last time I used ECS? Did I do one per file or all in one file? I don't remember anymore. Okay. Config, you're not included in. Camera systems, you're not included in. Okay. Mod that. Okay, mod.rs. What? No. Mod.rs, you're included in, right? Okay, I didn't accidentally include you in there. In lib, mod systems should grab the mod from systems. Yeah, okay. Like if I go there, oh wait. Did I delete everything else? Now I'm confused. Where is that mod? Oh, okay, so it created. Wait, I still have a systems here. Wait a second. I thought wait. Your systems? And your mod. Okay. Buffer close all. You're all being closed. Sure. I don't care about you. Your buffer close all bang. You. Bat systems. Okay, you're just those mods. And then okay, so I want to remove systems.rs. Then I want to open up, let's say, bullet systems and restart out. Oh, LSP exited immediately? What? Oh, that was our failed attempt to add in Clippy, wasn't it? Okay, so this is not included. So if I do a pubmod bullet systems, that updated mod.rs. That's what we wanted to see. Perfect. Okay, so add you all. Okay, I might as well just go to mod. Okay, so we have pubmod bullet systems. We have pubmod camera systems. Pubmod shared systems, pubmod ship systems. Okay. We'll also go to library and we'll do a pubmod config. So every file is now added into the system, and now we have errors errors everywhere. Okay, so I have use systems. Oh, see, yeah, now you're gonna be happy. So what I really want to do is something like use systems, like bullet systems star, camera systems star. Oh, can I just, oh wait, no. I think I make this a little bit better. So if I go back to systems star like this, and in systems mod, I can do pubmod bullet systems would it be something like pub use? Pub use? Or how do I do the star with this one on this side? It's pub use bullet systems star? Something like that. Does that re-export? It's like change thruster colors is a ship one, right? Pub use ship systems. Yep, that did it. Okay. Pub use shared systems star pub use camera systems. Okay. Live.rs, the trait bound function error, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so add systems, add player, add camera. Ooh, why didn't that find that? Okay, do this without stopping the stream this time. Okay, so use systems. Okay, so app add systems required by a bound introduced by this call. Oh, I was hoping that this would find it. Now, if I, oh, no code actions available for that one. Okay, so if I take you away and I say, hey, code action, import is that, and then you're fine. Oh, I was kind of hoping, oh, wait. Now why are you upset? What did I do? Okay, so ship systems, add ship. Oh, it's because you have errors in here. I have to fix all the errors. Yeah, it's an import error in one of the other files. That's something that I don't like about the error messages in Rust, is that sometimes it gives me errors that it doesn't tell me where the errors are. And it's something where you're going to have that same problem in other languages, but because the bar is so much higher in Rust for error messages, it becomes something that I think is valid to complain about here. Whereas I won't complain about that in another language, which is interesting. Okay, so let's import. You know what would be really nice if they added in? If I could import everything. I think this is a asset handle, not a trace. Yeah, so asset handle, color material. Okay, import you. Now just a bunch of this over and over and over again. Import you. Okay, so I guess it's only 2 keystrokes to do that D for the previous, like the next or previous problem, or I have to do space D enter. One of those two. Most of it should be in a prelude. Yeah, we didn't add the prelude in, so I can actually just do this. Let's bring in the prelude, and then that should handle most of it, but like not that. Not all my components. Ooh, it didn't get this one. Okay, so no more errors, no more warnings in here. So next up, I need to skip the library until we're done with it, until I'm done with everything else. Okay, bullet systems is next. So let's do use bevy. Let's also just use create components *2. I think that's gonna like take care of a majority of these. Yeah, we only have 2 left, which are either custom structs, or I think we have a trait, right? Nope, just 2 of these structs. Cool, okay. Camera system is next. And then we only have 1 main camera, so I'm just gonna bring that in on its own. Okay, so that is happy. Okay, so then we have mod, but then mod is just another thing. Okay, so we have shared systems. And that was everything in this file. Okay. Okay, so we have mod and then library. Okay, so mod is next. So I bring those in. Okay, so pub use bullet systems. Remove the whole use item. Remove all the unused imports. I mean, I'm not using any of these. I probably could just drop down, remove everything, and then we're good to go. Okay. All right, finally, library. You're upset. Unmerge use of ECS. Sure. Go ahead and do that. Wait, why? You don't know how to. Okay. There's no code action for that made any sense. You cannot find value. Okay, so import systems, change thruster colors. Now, if I tried to import systems star, would that make all that go away? So if I just do that, kind of. Apply velocity and wrap around entities. So apply velocities, that's a pub use shared systems. That'd be both of them. Fire bullet is the bullet systems. Oh, and chain. I need to probably use bevy prelude for this. Yeah, there we go. And no more errors. You'd probably avoid the imports and use create systems ship rotate as the qualify them all the time. Yeah, that probably would be a good idea. I just finished getting this all working though, so let's double check it and make sure it runs. Okay, things are working as they previously were. I can move around. I can fire bullets. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, so you're thinking of switching everything to qualified names, especially for the crate ones. I can see doing something like that. We can try that. So for library, what would that be is, at least for the systems, we can remove the use systems here, and then you're going to be upset and look at the first one, and we're going to say qualify as, and just do this. A macro would be nice here. Okay, there we go. So we have systems. Now, you were suggesting systems. Oh, okay, so hold on. I didn't do that right. Okay, so hold on. Let me undo that. Because first, what we're going to really do is remove these here. And now qualify. And it goes to the appropriate thing. So now I can qualify. Now we do the same thing over again. But now it has which system it's coming from too, which will make it a little bit easier to see in the future. I wonder if I could have multi-cursored that. All right, so no warnings, no errors. Everything should work just fine and the way we expected it to. So that's good. Okay, so we've just done the same refactor like 3 times, but that's cool. That's what we programmers do all the time, right? So we have everything working. As long as you ignore the name of the game, then we have a working system, right? It's like we have a ship. We can rotate the ship. We can fly around, and we can fire bullets. The bullets last for a limited amount of time. We can only have 3 of them at a time before they die. And we can even see when we're thrusting with a little red thruster, which I have no idea how easy that is for you to see on the red against the dark. So I suppose that we should add the namesake of the game in and add some asteroids. Probably a good idea for a game named Asteroids, right? So we can start with circles, but I want to learn how to create this sort of jaggedy line ones. And the last time we created this with GGEZ, there was like an interesting function we can do when creating a mesh that allowed us to sort of like do random numbers around and just create a sort of like a line. I think that's what we want to do. All right, so it's going to be its own thing. So we probably want an asteroids file for this, like an asteroid systems file, because there's going to be a bunch of different stuff for it. So let's go ahead and create a new one. So we're going to go systems, asteroid systems. And we're going to start with a pub function, create asteroid. Now, I want just a create asteroid, and we might need to run, so this is going to be interesting. So I might want to like have a create asteroid function, but like maybe I want like spawn asteroids for the level or something like that. I don't even know if we're going to go as far as to have levels, or just like we just spawn a bunch of asteroids and you go until they're all dead and then we're done, right? Generally speaking, there's like a level system, right? Where like as soon as you kill the last asteroid, new ones spawn in, and then the difficulty increases, something like that. So do spawn asteroids as the name for this. We are going to need command. So what is this? Mute commands, which is commands. I think it is commands, right? Something like that. Yeah, because it's commands.spawn. Okay, yeah. So it's commands.spawn. That'll be fine. Also, didn't get saved. Okay, so asteroid systems. Okay, so we have commands like that. We need assets. And so we can go in and take a look at the ship systems and see what we need here. So an add player, yeah, we need materials and we need meshes as well. And we might as well bevy prelude and only bring in what we really need to. Okay, so we have our commands, we have materials, and we have our meshes. So we need to create a new material essentially, and then we're going to have a position. So let's do, I guess, our mesh, as it were. So our asteroid mesh is going to be what? It's going to be this material mesh 2D bundle. So if I just copy you, material mesh 2D bundle, meshes add. Okay, so this is a triangle 2D. Let's start with a circle. Material, this can be, what is it? Colors. Oh, right. There's the antique white. So antique white. Antique white. Transform. Let's, they'll all be the same size right now. We'll do 50. I mean, they should start like 150, right? Bigger, like significantly bigger than the ship, I would imagine. Okay, so we have our mesh like you. We need to import you. Okay. Mismatch types. Oh, we have to into you. Oh, right, it's a handle. I forgot. It's a handle. So we're gonna do a handle. I think it's a handled new. Is that what I did before? I mean, I didn't really do a handled new on that one. Okay, this was like a meshes add for the mesh. Like the other stuff wasn't really all that helpful. Oh, what did I do in the const? Okay, that's weak from. Oh, it's materials. It's materials add. That's what it was. Materials add. And that generates a handle for me. So materials add, and then we do our color. So our color, antique white, and I potentially need to do an into on that, but I don't think so. Then we do a transform. That adds it in here. So if I just do a spawn, I think it'll actually show up, right? So if I do command spawn, and we'll just add our mesh in here. Okay, so if we run you now, right, that won't show the circle. Wait, so what am I doing for the drawing? The drawing is automatic, right? As long as it has. Oh, you know what? You know what would be really helpful? To add the spawn asteroid system into the into our systems here. So if I do systems, asteroid systems, spawn asteroids, that would be, I think, helpful. That just a guess. Okay, so we have a circle. It's bigger than the ship. That's good, right? That's about the size of an asteroid. We can maybe go even a little bit bigger. And I want it to not be filled. So we want to not fill it and just be an outline. That's the next thing. I want it to not be filled. So now I have this materials add, color antique white. Is there anything more on that? Like, how do I do an outline? It's well, it's not a, okay, so I don't do a fill like you. Is it really materials like that? The mesh is you, circle default. I don't have like, okay, so there's like a reflect and some other interesting things like path, but I think those are more like specific to that. Now, if I do circle, do you have anything in here for me? I don't think so. Now, we have the transform. What else do we have in here? What can I, yeah, so what can I add in? So we have a global transform, visibility. Oh, that's it? Okay. All right, so material mesh 2D bundle. We need to go take a look at that. I could have gone directly into the documentation from there. That would probably wouldn't be good. Oh, and also we have this book. This book probably could help too with a maybe fill. One search result for fill, outline, mesh. Would it be materials maybe? I guess I'm not sure of the words to use to search for this. Okay, so there is the material mesh 2D bundle, and I think that's what I'm gonna want. Okay, look up mesh new. Oh, so instead of what I was doing there. Okay, so let's take a look at mesh, and then new inside of here, right? Primitive topology, and then we have an asset usage. Constructs a new mesh, you need to provide a primitive topology so that the renderer knows how to treat the vertex data. Most of the time, this will be primitive topology triangle list. Wait. What about asset usage? You skip that. The example at the very top. Create a simple parallelogram. So mesh new, primitive topology triangle list, render asset usage as default. Add 4 vertices, each with its own position attribute, coordinate, and 3D space for each of the corners of the parallelogram. So with inserted attribute, mesh attribute position. Okay. Assign a UV coordinate to each vertex. Assign normals, point everything outwards. Interesting. After defining all the vertices and their attributes, build each triangle using the indices of the vertices that make it up in a counterclockwise order. Okay, so now if I just take this entire thing, so I'm not usually big on copying and pasting code. I'm going to do this as an example, and then we're going to break it out separately. So if I just throw this down here, we're going to use this as reference in here. Or rather, we're probably going to, you know what, let's do both of them. So I'll copy you. That gets us you. Okay, we're going to create a new mesh. Oh, wait, you create a simple mesh. Okay, never mind. This will be fine. So mesh, meshes add. This will be create simple parallelogram, which creates the mesh. Okay, that's great. You're not part of, okay, you're not part of the preload. All right, I accidentally qualified, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so no errors, and then we'll see if this creates a parallelogram that's see-through rather than a circle that's not see-through. So, or at least it's a starting point. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so it's interesting. So it's not centered based, which is kind of what I would have expected it to be, is over here. But I didn't really pay that much attention to the numbers. So that's interesting. And it is a parallelogram, but it's not see-through. So now if we go, was there an example in new that we that we wanted to look at? Okay, that is controlled by material. Oh, so the mesh is not what I care about. It's the material that I care about. Oh, okay. So hold on. So materials, assets, and then now there's color material, but I wonder if that's what I really want or if it's a different thing altogether. No. Don't go material. Wait a second. Don't look for that searches across all the things? I've got the wrong search. Material. So we have alpha mode, whether or not it's see-through or not. Okay, so we have a custom material, which has a color and a color texture. I don't think those are really helpful for me yet. Set the alpha on the color material. Interesting. Okay, so I can set the alpha on the defaults to alpha mode opaque. Okay, so color material, would it be something like alpha? How do I set? It's alpha mode. Okay, so I have a color material. I want to create a new from that. So let's see. Let material equals. Oh, would it be color? So like, did I see alpha for a second? Yeah, okay, so after antique white. Oh, there's no. Okay, so I can't do as alpha there. Okay, so we need to go into color and find color. Where is this from? Is this prelude? Oh, this is prelude color. Okay, so there's fields alpha. I would imagine, is there a function for alpha? Okay, so methods. Is there like a set A? So there's a get A, set A. Okay. Which I probably need to do this separately then, right? So our color, so our mute color is going to be color antique white. We're going to take the color and set A. And let's try 0. Now, if we do that, are you going to be invisible? Yes. It's just invisible. With A. Oh. Use, okay. So there is a with A. Oh, nice. Yeah, I do remember seeing the with A on some of the other things too. Okay, so that's the, oh, but there's no with A here. There's with default. Okay, hold on. Where's with? So with A returns this color with a new alpha value. Okay. So I can create a color and then do with A, and it does take a self in. So yeah, I should be able to do a with, oh, there it is. With A 0 dot. Oh, which means I can do it all online. Yeah, you're right. I did use the colon, but it's not a colon, it's a dot, because what we have here is like, okay, so we have the module, we have the constant or the thing that we're going for, and then that creates it, and now it's an instance of it. So now dot to get the thing with, you get the methods with the self in it, and then with A, which I can see definitely being confusing. Right, no, we don't need this to be mutable anymore. Okay, so we create a color with an alpha 0, but it's invisible. So we need a border. I need a border. Is there a border? Oh, border. Okay. Border color. Oh, there's no border on there. Would it be, there's no border on the parallelogram. Oh, yeah, there's no border on a mesh. Would it be in here? So I have with inserted attribute, attribute normal. What are these? Okay, so attribute normal is probably fine for that. Yeah. So if we think about like what the game of Asteroids is, it's just the border of the asteroid and then completely see-through on the interior of that. So I basically don't want any material on the inside of it and just the outline of it. That's what I would like the most, because that's how the OG game worked. Okay, so outline. You didn't do that for the ships. You didn't realize that was what you were aiming for. Is that how does the ship work? I forget. I forget how the ship works. Hold on. Like, to me, it kind of feels right for the ship to not be bordered, to be filled in. But I could see both. I could see both ways. I'm also trying to remember the last time that we created Asteroids. I think I did filled in ship too, right? Didn't I? Maybe, possibly, perhaps. All right. Playable Atari Vault. Let's go ahead and get you going. All right, Asteroids. Oh, you're right. It is. I can see right now. It is not. Start. Yeah, that's a not see-through either for this. Okay, that is good to know. I don't know if I care that much. I guess it either wouldn't be, I'm okay with not making it see-through, because then I can ignore the fact that my bullets spawn in the middle of the ship. So I'm gonna say, like, business decision, the ship has a paint job. That's it. The ship is painted antique white. The asteroids, however, I do believe they should be see-through, because they can kind of move through each other, and you should be able to see. It will make them a little bit clearer to sort of see where they all are. So I like the idea of the asteroids being just an outline. Now, how would I find that? Maybe outline? Oh, the outline component adds an outline usage. How did I see this as usage? The outline component adds an outline outside the edge of a UI node. Outlines do not take up space in the layout. To add an outline to a UI node, you can spawn a node bundle outline tuple bundle. Okay, so command spawn node bundle. Oh, interesting. Style, okay, with height. Okay, so it's next to this. So it's just outline. Oh, is this for UI? Oh, of a UI node. You're right. You're right. How would I do an, oh, would it just be a line? Maybe I just want a series of lines. You came 34th overall, but 17th in gameplay, sounds, and aesthetics. Really tanked your score out of 82 submissions. Oh, so not only was it your first time using Bevy and creating asteroids, you also submitted it to a competition, like a game jam or something. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. Oh, that was a different game. Okay, never mind. I must have missed your other message. I only have 4 lines on my screen, so it's really easy for me to miss messages. Okay, you're right. I did. So I saw my first Bevy game was Asteroids, and then the next thing I saw was the Cayman 34th. I really want to do more game dev. I have tried game jams. I've only ever completed one. It was fun though. Yeah, game jams are fun. I feel like I don't have time / energy right now to do them, but maybe someday I'll be able to do them again, which would be great. Okay, I don't want to create a 3D line. An infinite line along a direction. I don't know if I want that. I want lines. Do I want points? Like lines or points, maybe. Oh, there's also Gizmo's line 2D. I might want the Bevy prototype lion. I don't see a lion. We could go to... Oh, it's a third-party crate. Oh, third-party crate. Okay, hold on. So what is this? Bevy prototype lion. Draw 2D shapes and paths in a Bevy game engine. Oh, so this makes it easier. Oh, that's cool. Currently, Bevy does not support drawing custom shapes in an easy way. This crate uses a variation of Bevy's sprite bundle, which with custom message to draw shapes. The lion crate is used to generate those custom mesh. Okay, so add Bevy prototype lion. Then you can start by drawing simple shapes. Okay, so if I want shape bundle, geometry builder, build as, nice. Okay, we can try it out. Give it a shot. All right, so let's add this in. No features. That's nice. Okay, so spawn the asteroids. Now, if I want, we're gonna start with a circle. So my shape. Okay, so shapes comes from, I assume, Bevy prototype lion. Okay, so use Bevy. Stop. Go away. I need to restart so it sees the new thing. Any second. You're not sure if it solves the outline thing though? Let's see. So use Bevy prototype lion prelude. Okay, so I want a shape's regular polygon or something like that. So if I just do U, I want let shape equals shapes. Why are you upset with that? Hold on. Let me try this up here. Not in there. Let shape equals, it doesn't see shapes. Oh, shapes is lower, lowercase. Okay, I see. There we go. Okay, so shapes. So we'll start with a circle. So, circle. Right, so if I have a radius of something like 150, and then we have the center, which is a vec2 of, we'll just do 0 dot and 0 dot. Now is there, okay, so command spawn, fill, color, stroke, stroke and fill. Stroke and fill. So when I do command spawn, that feels different. So command spawn, it was here. So command spawn, we have the mesh, and then the fill. So fill, is there going to be none in here? So I probably don't want to fill at all. So I probably want a stroke. Stroke new. And then we're going to do a color. I probably want color, right? Do antique white. Line width, we'll do like 2. So if I do something like that, we have our shape circle. So I don't want this color anymore. So now material, okay, so I don't need that material anymore. So spawn is going to be a shape bundle. Geometry builder, build as shape. That's weird. What do I do with the... Oh, I'm passing in this shape to a geometry builder build. Okay, so I don't need this anymore, I don't think. We're gonna use spawn. So instead of that, we're gonna use geometry builder, build as a reference to shape. Okay, so do that. No errors. The shape bundle has a spatial bundle with a transform. Oh. Oh, right. I was supposed to do this in a shape bundle, right? Yeah. Shape bundle. Oops. Shape bundle. So shape bundle has a path, and the path is this entire thing. And then we do default, and then stroke in here. Okay. So let's first get it working according to their example and see if that works. So we have some warnings. We don't need to add that again. Cargo run. We have no warnings. We have no errors. We have several warnings. We have no errors. So maybe it will just work. Maybe, possibly. Bevy opted in for modular, so some stuff are often feel so generic. Yeah, it does feel like that quite a bit, which I think once they have a GUI editor, it won't feel quite as bad because you can abstract, like it'll be a lot, even more abstracted away than it is right now. Okay, so we have you, but I have no shape. So there is no circle. Yeah, so that did not work the way we expected it to work. Did I add the plugin? Well, so spawn asteroids is being used here. So I have spawn asteroids being brought in. What plugin do I need to use on top of that? The shape plugin. Hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, so I need to do these. I need to add plugin shape plugin and default plugins. Okay, so I need to add in these two, right? Okay, we need to add in the shape plugin to the plugins, and then hopefully that'll work. So that's going to be in the main library. We have add systems. Yeah, so we have add plugins, default plugins game, and so I want to maybe after the default plugins, before the game plugin, we're going to have the shape plugin like that. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now we have. Okay, that is significantly easier finding than what the other one had. What it was default with Bevy. Okay, so we have a really gigantic asteroid here, and it is. We have our line and our outline of it. That was really easy to make, and so now if I want to make this be a more asteroidy, what can we do? So I want it not to be a regular polygon, but maybe there's shapes that we can just sort of use. So instead of circle, let's see what else we have. So we have ellipse, line, maybe polygon, regular polygon. Oh, and an SVG path, shape path. No, I don't think I want that. So there's regular polygon and then there's polygon. Okay, let's try. Do I just want polygon, not regular polygon? This doesn't. Their sort of like doc string doesn't say anything beyond the title, like the name of the struct, which is unfortunate. Okay, so if I do polygon, regular is like a square hexagon. Oh, okay. Polygon is a pure list of paths. So, there it is. Okay, so points and then closed. So closed is going to be, I assume, a Boolean. So we're going to say true. Points is a vec of vec2s. Okay. So we're going to have a vec and then vec2s, right? So vec2 and then x and y. So let's say we're eventually going to probably create another function to do this for us, but to create just like a single one that's sort of like irregular and not using any randomness whatsoever. Let's say like we start by going up because 0, 0 is going to be in the center of us, right? So if I start with up of like, we're starting with 0 and then we do up is actually positive in Bevy. So we're going to do something like 2.3, let's say. And then I kind of want the idea of like maybe a point here, a point at halfway, a point at right, a point at down. And then they're sort of like at different places. So what would that be? That would be, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of them. With the second one, it'd be we have a random X and a random Y. So maybe we have something like a 1.3 and a like 2.7. Then to the right, maybe we have like a 2.4, 1.2. Then like a kind of want one that's like a really small, like 0.5, 0.3. So close to the center. We could do one that's really big, like 2.9, 3.3. I don't know if these should be between 0 and 1 or not right now. We're just sort of making that up as we go along. We could just do 1.0, 2.0, 0.9, and 2.3, whatever. We just finish there. Okay, so we do that, close true, and everything else remains the same. You're unhappy because I have 2 dots. Okay, so let's try this. What you did for your generator was just walk around the circle and fixed angles and then pick a random radius for that point. That's probably would be a better idea. Is this too big or is this too small? Too small. Significantly too small. However, it's right there. So it was under the ship. That didn't look too bad. That looks kind of weird, but significantly too small. So can I scale that up? So can I take the shape? There's no scale there. Build as, is there a scale here? So like a width scale. Okay, nothing to do in there. Shape bundle. Okay, so I think I need to increase this here. Now we could bring in rand and just start using random stuff right now. Yeah, just fixing the points is probably the best thing to do. So let's do that. Let's bring in random. Let's also go ahead and create an asteroid, like so. Function create asteroid shape. Now we know we're gonna have different sizes, right? So we're gonna have like a scale of an F32 to come in, and because we're gonna have like large, normal, small, something like that, like with three hits, and you're gonna return a polygon, just like that. Okay, so that's what we're gonna return. We get our shape equals create asteroid shape, and our scale. Let's do we'll probably do something like 2 dot, 1 dot, 0.5 dot, something like that. But those are things we can play around with. Why are you not happy with this? Oh, missing generics. Wait, why is there a generic? Is it polygon 2D that I want? I saw that. That was a thing. Oh, polyline. Oh. Okay, there's polygon with a generic. Oh, wait. Can I just give this a generic trait? Like, wait, remove the generics. Okay. Hold on. Wait. Did I just not save? I must not have saved. That's weird. Okay, and then we're going to bring in rand. And I don't think I need anything special with rand. So I don't think I need any of those. And then we'll restart you. Name conflicts. I auto imported over whatever. Oh, interesting. I didn't think I did that, but where's my polygon? Shape self polygon. Okay. I guess it's fine now though. Unused import fill and prelude. Huh. Okay, so we have you. So how am I going to do this? I want to generate a rand. So if we have like a normal, we were going to want to do this a bunch of times, aren't we? So let mute RNG, thread range, I think. Then we're going to do RNG dot gen, probably gen range. Okay, so it's going to be gen range of, ooh, what should we be? Like negative, let's do something like negative, so we're going to be doubling this. So let's maybe like negative 20 to 20. Oh, right. It's inclusive 20. And then we'll multiply that by the scale. And we'll do the same thing here. That's gonna be really weird to see. So I should do something like that. Okay, so you're happy. Oh, like this little tidbit from a project generator docs, copier doesn't replace the dry principle, but sometimes you simply can't be dry and you need a drying machine. Haha, that's funny. Oh, I forgot to add the scale to this side. Okay, so if I do that and we want 8 of these, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of these around. We have no errors. So now if I run this again, I guess while we're waiting, is an interesting, okay, what I created a fuzzy square. I created a fuzzy, what the? Okay, well that's certainly interesting. Also, I may cause my computer's fans to kick on any second now. Yeah, that's probably pretty bad. It is a thing. It is a thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, Vivex, you're gonna mention that I was probably gonna run into this. Well, creating a fuzzy square is actually kind of interesting. We need to figure out what this is because I tried to create an asteroid, and I created a fuzzy box instead, which is fun. So, Vivex, you were mentioning that this is something that I did. Am I creating this every single frame? I am, aren't I? Oh, I'm creating this every single frame. So yeah, spawn asteroids. I want to spawn. Okay, yeah, I'm spawning an infinite number of asteroids. That works surprisingly well for leaving that up for that long. Okay, just change from update to startup. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Okay, so here, where was that again? We have app new, add plugins, default plugins, shape plugins. I thought that was right. I do have a shape plugin. I do the shape plugin there. Oh, I'm adding spawn asteroids in add systems. That's the reason why. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Spawn asteroids. I need a query for the asteroids that we've given. And so when I create an entity, I need a marker to be able to get it back. So we're going to do an asteroid. So pub struct asteroid, which is just a marker. Add you in like that. I can now query. So I can do, I want asteroids, which is going to be a query for asteroid. And that's all I care about. So I just want all the asteroids that I've created. And at the very beginning here, so I want to do if asteroids iter, okay, so count, if that's greater than 0, then we're just going to do an early return and quit out. So that way we're only going to create a single asteroid and then leave that in there. So this will fix the problem. And whoa, okay. That is a interesting asteroid. That's like a yeah. I like your description of this annotator. Is the appropriate name for this. I feel like we could just frame this and put this as art on, like, this is like, what is that kind of art? Like postmodern or weird, like the weird non-realistic art. I don't think it's incorrect index order. I think Vivax is correct, and I should probably just do circle math as opposed to just make shit up and hope that works. Because the make shit up worked decently well for a lot of things, but not for drawing. The make shit up club is where it's at. Yeah. Oh, you know what? If I want to continue with the make shit up, I don't go by -20 to 20. That's another problem with my math. I just go 0, right? Or I get like, so -20. So if I want search for -20.0 and I want to change this to be maybe like 5.0. This would probably actually look a little bit better. Oh, ad break started. Sorry about that. Didn't even notice that was starting. You aren't centered anymore. Okay, fine. It needs to start. Oh, because it starts at Yeah, I think Vivex's suggestion is the appropriate thing to do. It looks like the CS Code logo. I can see that a little bit. I was gonna say like it looks sort of like an Anarchy A, with like that really long sort of brush strokey left line through the middle of the A, which I don't know what that symbol is called, but I mean it looks cool. It doesn't look like an asteroid though. What is okay? I need to learn how to do circle stuff, or rather, I need to relearn because every couple of years, whenever I do this, we have to relearn circles and math. So it's something about pi, right? So if I want to create a bunch of vectors like this, and I want like let's say, yeah, just throw sine and cosine in it until it works. Is that how you did it? Like okay, for the x. So, well, I guess what I could do is I could start. Let's see for the x. So let's say I want to do the top one first. So the top one is going to be just 0 of x, right? So this is just always 0. And then the y is something else, which I will multiply by scale. But okay. All right, so Vivex, you're suggesting vec2 from angle. Oh wait, that looks a lot easier. Okay, so I keep on forgetting that we have access to things that like make things nice. So from angle, and then creates a 2D vector containing angle, cosine, angle, sine, which is what you have annotator. This can be used in conjunction with the rotate method. Okay. So from angle, pi rotate will create the vector -1, 0. Wait, but what's the angle? Is angle a like degrees, like 360 degrees, or 0 to 1? It doesn't say. Angles and I keep on forgetting radians. Is radian 0 to 1? I mean, I could guess if I knew my math, but I don't. So actually, I don't really guess it. Okay, so 2 pi equals 360 degrees, but radians. I guess like I'm still confused. I always get confused by radians, like the word radians. Like that confuses me. Like I know it there, and I like, oh, let me just convert this to radians by using the 2 radians function, and then I don't know what it just does stuff, and I just sort of like, okay, it works, and then I just don't think about it anymore. So yeah, 2 pi equals 360 degrees. Okay. What does that mean in radians though? Should I do 2 pi or something? Because we can't only have one way to do something. Yeah, and I think when I have multiple ways to do something, that's when I get really confused really fast. So if I want straight up, right, that's 0, right? So it's from angle 0, and radians go around the radius. So 1 radian is 360 degrees. Okay, so it's a number between 0 and 1. So if I want 1, no? Okay, not that. I mean, if that was true, 1 radian is 57.29578 degrees. Okay, so 1 radian is 58 degrees. And pi radians is 108 degrees. 2 pi is 360. Okay, so this has not helped me understand it more, because now I just got confused reading everybody's take. Or maybe I was already confused and therefore I didn't get any less confused. I don't know. Something around there, all that stuff. Math is not my strong suit. So I usually get by with just like theories, and I just ignore numbers and do that as best as I can. Just open up Google and see an image. Sure, we can open up Google. We can do a search for radians. So radians, circle math. Here, math is fun. You go away. Okay, so radians, the angle made when the radius is wrapped around the circle. So 1 radian, we have the radius, and then the length is equal to the radius. Okay, why 57.2958 degrees? The radian is a pure measure based on the radius of the circle. Okay. Yeah, so it's basically this length along the edge of the circle. Okay, so that's good. Let's see why 1 radian is equal to 57.2958 degrees. Because pi radians equals 180. Wait, no. That doesn't okay. That, to me, that did not answer the why. I guess it's like, yeah, it's basically pi divided by 4, which that would make a lot more sense if we just define that as a radian is pi divided by 4. Like, we just named pi divided by 4 as a new variable name. Okay, so pi radians is 180 degrees. So 1 radian is 180 degrees divided by pi, which equals to that. Okay, that makes more sense. I kind of wish that they started with this one instead of doing this, because that confused me more. But I do like the because math as a definition of all of these things. So I guess the question is, should I just go around, what you do is for I in 0 to n, angle I times, what's tau? Oh, we've used tau before. I forget what that was though. Tau is 2 pi. Okay, yeah, so they as in, those math people have given names to basically just pi multiplied and divided by different things. Is that what it really is? Is it that we just have a lot of names that are not related to each other? I don't know what they there's something like where you have like a root language or some like study of language where it's like the words all are related to each other, like in visual, like in a spelling, or at least how they're pronounced or something like that. Basically, math is one big toxic family. Okay, that's what we're learning here today. Is math hates us. No, not math doesn't hate us. Really old, long dead mathematicians hate us. Or maybe they hated each other, and so therefore they refused to work with each other to name things, and so they just all named random stuff, and then it just became entomology. Okay, so that's the study of like root names and all that stuff. That's cool. That sounds familiar. I've heard that before. Most math papers use pi. Okay, so the study of roots on language and source. Nice. Okay, so the suggestion is that we loop around. So for I in, okay, so we figure out how many edges we want, right? So that's what we want to do. We figure out how many edges we want. So let's do something like, now I need to push this in. So I'm going to need to push. Okay, so we're going to have like points. It's like let our points equals a new vector. You're going to need to be mutable. They're going to do 4. Do we even care about which one? I probably do care about which one this is, right? We care about I in this case. Oh yeah, because angle equals I times at 32 constants. Literally pinning the message so I can see that easier in my own chat. Sorry. Even though it's probably going to look weird for everything else. Oh, unpin after 20 minutes. That's fine. Cool. So now we can do 4. I mean, I don't know what the I really means. So we're going to just do 4I in, and we're going to do a range. So starting from 0 through n being the number of these points that we want. So let's do 5 points, let's say. Let's see. Most game frameworks rely on tau because it's much better, but math degrees are expensive and got to justify pay some way. Just like the legal field makes your own language and you're guaranteed employment, but hardcore mathematicians use pi. Okay. Interesting. Don't worry about it. I'm not copying and pasting like directly for it. I figured that what you gave me is the what is it called? The rough, sort of like the rough what's it, like the mock language? Oh, I forget what that's called. Who'd have thought one line of code is hard to write in Twitch? Pseudocode, that's what it is. My brain apparently is not working right now. But so it goes after 4 hours of streaming, I guess, of game dev. Okay, so if we create our angle, that's going to be this I, whatever it is. So we're going to start with like 0 and then 1 and whatever. And then we're going to multiply that by, okay, so that's where it's going to be F32. Wait, why can't I see consts? Huh. You're not, okay. Ambiguous associated type. What? Okay, hold on. Before I do anything else, I'm going to delete all these. Okay, so what are you really upset? Okay, you're looking for the module in standard. Oh, standard. F32 const tau. That's what it is. Okay. You're upset. Cannot multiply integer by F32. So this needs to be, I think this is a pretty safe to do an as I32. It's not safe to do as an I32. That's silly. Okay. Convert I into an F32 and then multiply it by tau. And then I create the point so that our point, which I'm going to mutate this. So we're going to do point as the point equals a vec2 new, no, from angle, and at the angle. And then I want to multiply this by the scale. So point is equals to the scale. And then we're going to put the points. So points push point. Okay, and then I should have the points here. And so now I want my points are going to be all those. Okay, divide by 5. Where am I dividing by 5? What do I need to divide by 5 for? This is creating 5 points around it, right? Oh, but this doesn't give me any length, does it? I need to, okay, so I multiply by scale, and then I need to multiply by, something more, right? Oh, tau divided by 5. Oh, tau divided by I? It's not by 5, it's by the number of ones that I'm doing, right? So it's I. So we have I as, okay. No? Wait, yes, okay. It won't work, it starts at 0, so it's divided by I minus 1. But no, oh, you're right. Okay, come on. We live in 2024. Are we saying that we haven't invented a machine that can handle division by 0? Come on. So it is divide by 5. So it's always, okay, so it's always whatever this number is. Interesting. Okay. So I might want to have like the equivalent of like the number of points, like let points in, okay, because we want to split it up into 5 points, which is what we have there. Okay, so this is point count. So if we do 5, so we want a point count here. What did I do? Where did I go? I hit some key and I went like up a page or something. Okay, so point count and then divide this by point count. So that way, if I ever do change this, I won't screw up my math. Expected an integer. Oh, integer. As I32. Yeah, you love hitting random shortcuts and ending up at random locations. Yeah, it's a thing, right? Oh, we could also turn it into a U32. That would work too. But I32 is fine. It doesn't really matter, right? Okay, so we have you. You're happy. You're happy. I want to, after I create, okay, so I then want to multiply out by RNG, right? So I also do point times equals RNG gen range. And I want this to be a range between maybe like 1.0 through 10.0. And then we scale it that way. Got to use all those 32 bits for a 0 to 5 range of numbers? Of course, yeah. I mean, if you would like, we really need, like, what if one day we decide we have an asteroid with several, is it trillion? Several, like trillions of edges. This, we need to use all this memory up. Point count as standard number non-zero U32. I mean, that would be good too. Okay, yeah, so it's 3.4 times 10 to the 38th. Yeah, that's what we could do. We can have that many edges. I mean, it would probably look like a circle. Okay, so it's a bit more than a few millions. Okay, fine. Only if we want millions and millions and millions of points. But yeah, I can do an I8 or a U8. Any of these would be fine. Okay, so We do this. This is fine. Okay, so what's the chance it's going to work? Let's try it. Let's find out. Hey, okay. That's not a bad looking asteroid. It's a, it is half your code, so very high, which is good. Hey, it worked. Okay, so it's a little bit small. So our gen range probably want to have something like a minimum of, I mean, that's actually good for small, but let's do minimum of 10 and go through 100. I mean, that might not even be, the 100s probably might be too much. Okay. So there we have a 5-point asteroid. I see 5 lights. I mean, 5 sides. No, you don't. There are 4 sides. I'm sorry, Vivex. I don't know what you're talking about. There are 4 sides. I'm also wondering how many of you get the reference that Uncle Scientist made. 3 sides and a curve. Then, I'm worried that I've confused everybody but Uncle Scientist, but also that's fine. Okay, so we want more sides. No one else watches TNG. Yeah. If you've never watched Star Trek: The Next Generation, there is an episode which I don't remember the name of, but it is worth watching. And that is a reference to that. Any like major Star Trek geek would probably like would have like a remembering like that entire episode as soon as they hear about the lights. Okay, let's run this with 9 sides. Okay, not bad. I feel like even more. Like, how many sides should we do? Maybe also a little bit less. Okay, so I want a couple things. I'm feeling like I can do more sides. So like, let's try like 25 sides, and then let's also have a bit less of a range. So let's do some like, maybe I want 75 to 120. Just continuing to make up numbers as us game devs do. Okay, this feels like a pretty good asteroid. It's a bit big, so it's a bit big, but it's pretty good. I like this. So if I wanted, let's see, 75 to, let's try something like 50 to 75. Okay, that's pretty good as a large. Okay, is this a large that I'm actually creating? Okay, so when I'm scaling this, I'm creating this as a large because it's 2.0. That feels perfect because if I want to create a second one, so let's do normal and small. So you'll be 1 point and you'll be 0.5. Okay, so we have all 3 of those. I command spawn you. Okay, so command spawn you, and then everything's going to be the same except instead of shape, we're going to do shape, normal, and small. Perfect names, right? Normal and small, and then they'll just sort of like be inside of each other, which for right now is perfectly fine. I mean, it kind of looks like art where you're looking into a tunnel, like a this actually could be part of like a tear in space time. It looks pretty good. All right, so what do I want to do with this? I want to create a whole bunch of these. When we sort of like start the level or we figure something out, we want to spawn a bunch of asteroids. Oh, and the break just started. And we want to give them random positions as well throughout the world, as it were. Which means that we need to get the size of the world, and we can do that. So now this spawns asteroids, and so I want to do, okay, so we have a spawn, create asteroid shape. So I really want to just do create asteroid to create like a single asteroid that then returns whatever that thing is. So I can have how do I want to do this one? Create asteroid shape. This is spawning all of them, right? So I want to create, spawn asteroids. If we have no asteroids, I want let asteroids count equals, how many should we make? Let's make 5 asteroids. So then we do 4. I don't really care, right? So if in asteroids count, or it's 0 to asteroids count, I want the shape goes in here. Don't need that other shape. We then want to spawn an asteroid there. Don't need you other commands because you're in the loop now. Okay. I need a position to throw into the command spawn. So let our position equals a position, which is a component position. And then we have a vec3. So vec3 x. Okay, so I probably want, oh, this needs to be random too. Huh, this needs to be random as well. So, ads are done. I need to figure out what the size of the world is, which we did previously. What was that? That was in the wrap system. So in the shared systems, wraparound entities. Okay, so I get the camera, and then that lets me get the world size. Okay, so if I get the camera like this, that's it's not gonna work. Okay, so I get the camera, and then I want the world size off of the camera. Except again, I want to run, this one first, right? If we're creating asteroids, then we get we extract out the camera from the query. We figured out the world size because in our world, the camera size is the world size. We figure out how many asteroids we're going to create. We loop through this and then position. Okay, so I want to create a random position. So this, we need thread RNG. Now, might as well only create these once because that's pretty expensive for us to create, but pretty cheap for us to use every single time. So we could do gen range, and I want between the beginning and the end. Obviously, if I spawn over our player and kill the player right away, that's kind of a, somebody's probably going to call bullshit on that and say like a game shouldn't have it where you just immediately spawn in dead. But whatever, my game is just hardcore like that. And it's a skill issue if you die on frame 1, right? Like, I think that's a valid game choice, right? Okay, so yeah, exactly. See, Vivax, you agree. Like, if I get somebody to agree with me for like some reason anywhere, I think that's valid. Okay, so gen range, pro gamers know to be hitting fire on frame 0. Exactly. Or something better? No. There's no better possible way to do this. It's just impossible. Nobody has ever considered this. All right, so world size. And I have half size. So I want world size. I want negative. I want negative world size dot x through world size dot x. And then for the y, we're going to do RNG gen range, negative world, negative world size dot y through world size dot y, and then z 0. I mean, okay, not asteroids is empty. Yeah, I mean, I could also test to see if I'm in the position of the ship. That it actually wouldn't be that hard for me to do, especially since we're going to treat the asteroids as circles, even though they're not circles, they're polygons. And they're kind of circles. But nobody is going to notice that unless I tell them. But you guys are not going to remember what I just said, right? Okay, so I get the position here, so I want to add in the position as well. Okay, so our asteroids are sort of like taking shape now. So an asteroid is made up of a component, a shape component, the stroke component, the asteroid marker component, and a position. So if I just do that, I believe, no, wait, will this work? If I just have the position, will this draw it out? I don't remember if we have the shared thing that draws this might just work and it might not. I don't remember anymore. If I have a component that sort of just handles that. What are you upset about? Spawn asteroids. Cannot find. Oh, did I change the name? Spawn asteroids. Oh, because of that. I haven't gotten that far yet. Main camera. So bring in components main camera. You're happy. Okay. All right. Randomly all over the place. That's great. So I do have a system that like sort of all I'd have to do is give it a position and make sure it has a drawable thing, and it just sort of translates it over into the correct position, which is nice. I love once you get the ECS system, it was really nice to sort of like forget half the systems you've created and then you just do something and it just works because you've already created all the stuff you want to use it for. It's great. Okay, so next up, we want to give it a velocity. Let's see, count greater than 0 will have to consume the entire iterator before coming to its conclusion. Oh, is there a better way to do that? Okay, so I do that. I want them to move around. So we are going to also create a random velocity. So a velocity, it's going to be a vec3. Okay, so for our x, that's going to be RNG gen range. And then I want this to be going anywhere between like negative, let's say 5.0 through 5.0. I don't know if that's a good velocity for these yet. We're going to find out. We'll do the same thing for y, and then the z can be 0 dot because we're not using that. And then add in a velocity. And I think, again, that's all I need to add in, and then you're happy. So now I think we should have, yep, they are now moving. They are very, very slow. And because of the system, they now switch locations. Like they'll jump from like one side to the other. I feel like we don't have any kind of risk to us right now. It needs to be dangerous. So what we really need to have is some kind of let asteroid speed. And that needs to be something like, let's see, negative 5 to 5 is no good. That's something I could do. I could do a random angle, or yeah, from angle, we can do a random angle. We now know that 2 pi is 180 degrees, so 4 pi is 360, right? So I can do 4 pi for anywhere around, and then I can multiply that by a speed. So let's say our speed is 15, 3 times what we had here. Instead of velocity from this, I'm going to do new gen range. Okay, so I needed an angle. So let random, so vec3, can I do a from angle here? Oh, there's no from angle here. Oh, I thought it was 4 pi was 360. I thought 2 pi was 180. Is 1 pi 180? I guess 1 pi is 180, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so there's no from angle from this. Now, can I do a vec2 and then convert that into a vec3? So I can do an angle? Hold on, let me try that. So if I do velocity direction equals, so I'm going to do a vec2 from angle. We're going to have an angle. Oh, I could also rotate it too, couldn't I? But all right, either way, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do from angle, and our angle is going to be a RNG. I guess we'll just do a gen range between 0 and pi. Right? Okay, so we extend. Okay, so standard F32. Wait, was it in here? Digits, epsilon, max. So there's some constants in here. Oh, but not enough of them. So then more constants. Tau. The full circle constant. Okay. So tau. So, okay. So from nothing to tau. And then I want to extend. Creates a 3D vector from self and the given z value. Okay, excellent. So extend to there. Oh, and whatever the z is. So 0. Great. And then I want to multiply that by the speed. So time, will that work the way I want it to? So times asteroid speed. Yeah, it does. So vec3, and then so this can actually just be velocity again. Okay, so what did I do? Oh, velocity is just a vec 3, and then I really need this to be a velocity, something like that. That will be a much better. Okay, so that's pretty good. I kind of feel like you can be really fast. You can be faster, but if I remember correctly, in the original game, they're not that fast. I guess they get faster as they. Oh, we probably like double their speed. That's probably something to keep in mind. Is we can like double their speeds. It's like if I was playing, it was like, oh no, asteroids coming to get me. Let me just literally get out of the way. And it's pretty easy. Oh, I think the negative here is that, I would have been killed there. Probably need to like actually pay attention to the when they're gonna pop in. But okay, so I think this is pretty good for the initial asteroids. We don't want any of the asteroids to be colliding with the ship. So let's see. Is there a collision? Okay, so is there collision detection that Bevy gives me? Or am I going to have to do this? My initial go-to is just to create this by hand and do my own collision detection, but I'm used to that from GGEZ. Bevy seems to have like a lot of things that would be nice for us. You've attempted both? Progress looks great. Yeah, this is starting to look right. Like I could shoot towards them, although the bullets, there's no collision detection, so nothing happens there. Now, if we take a look at the cheat book, see, this is the cargo book. This is the cheat book. Okay, so I want collision. How do you spell collision? I don't see any. Okay, detection. Ooh, I don't think there's collision detection. You think Bevy has sphere collision detection you can use, but it won't be perfect. Well, I mean, I'm okay with not being perfect. I was probably just going to use sphere detection. And sphere detection is super easy to do manually anyways, because you just get the radius. And so I'll probably just use sphere detection both for the ship and for the asteroids, and it'll be fine. I can also do triangle versus triangle. I don't know how to do that, but we can figure out. Okay, you hand rolled line sphere collision. Wait, use this to search their latest docs? Well, this is the cheat sheet, but yeah, I have also the docs in here. So, oh, okay. They have AABB. So I always forget what each letter stands for, but if I remember correctly, AABB is simple rectangle collision. So axis aligned bounding box. That's what it is. Rectangle, basically like you have two rectangles. Are they overlapping with each other? Can I find out how new they are? This doesn't tell me when they got added, right? Okay. This example is weird to me. Okay, so if I do a AABB cast 2D, oh, it does like ray type stuff. If you change the version at the top left to your current Bevy version, you can see what they have. I think the collision mode was moved across namespaces from 012 to 013. Yeah, this does feel like ray casting, but like it's two AAB. So I have to create one of these. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, so if I switch this to like collision at, nope, gone. So they definitely added this in 13. An interesting thing you can just do is just ray case yourself and check if you collide with an asteroid entity. Okay, so I am only used to really simple AABB like by myself. What's a ray, like ray casting? I understand what that is. Like the sending out like just a sort of like a single thing and just, but I don't really know what that means beyond like what I've heard of for like visual stuff. But yeah, so ray, I think what I'm going to do is just get it close enough, but not really worry about perfect. Especially like that's something I understand listening to people talk about the more graphical editors, something like Unity or Unreal or Godot, you can create better maps for collision. by just sort of click, 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 and then it's like sort of fine. With this, I don't know how to do that, especially easily. But this might be better. Like if I create an ABB cast 2D, maybe I can store that as a component. I mean, is that the idea that I want to do? I create this. Oh, you're right also. Since it's already a guesstimate, the circle is probably actually going to be more accurate. It would just be a square otherwise. What are you? So your bevy math bounding circle cast. Okay, so it's going to be the same thing though. It uses the same ray thing. Yeah, in Unity, it'd be made up of the shapes that make up the object. Nice. Okay, so intersects volume method intersects. Okay, intersects volume method intersects. So that's a different thing altogether. Hold on. So intersects this one, right? Bounding, yeah. Check if a volume intersects with this intersection test. And it's all of these things. So I want a bounding circle and then store that, I guess I need to store the circle in a component. Yeah, because, okay, that has the radius. Okay, so I need the bounding circle stored in a component and then I add that in. That's pretty much what it is, right? Okay, so for the asteroid system, oh, we've used Rapier before. That was pretty cool. Yeah. That'd be something nice to look into Rapier for Bevy as well, but it's really good. Are the asteroids drawn by code or like from a pre-drawn image? From code. So, although I'll wait until the ads are done before I answer. I know. Okay, so if I want the bounding box of whatever bounding circle is, so I need a component. Oh, probably don't want to call this bounding that. It's more like a collision circle. Or maybe a collision detection or something. And then you are a bounding circle. All right, welcome back. So you're Russ. Yes, so Vivx is right. I am using code to create the outlines or the shape, basically a polygon shape, and then I don't have any fill, I just have an outline for it. So that's how we create the asteroids. I don't believe you ever shared the game jam, Vivx. I don't remember. But also feel free to share that in Discord too. Is there a way to create the bounding box using the same code? Good question. Is there a bounding box that is not that is like more of a polygon? Would it be this? No. I don't think this is it. I don't see anything like that makes it easy. Bounding volume? I don't see that. You know, something else though, just like the shapes, is there going to be like a bevy collision? Okay, so it's a bevy plugin to easily detect AABB collisions. There's this one. You think most people use the N collision stuff or Rapier? You just use Rapier with non-physics objects personally? Rapier's so big though. I was hoping to keep it like relatively small. There's so much code in there. I just started like I think around like this part, my eyes started going fuzzy and everything just started swimming and I couldn't read any more of it. So that's fun. The asteroids are polygons. Yeah, so we can take a look at them here. This is what they look like. So they're slightly different each time. That's a terrible usage example. Way, way, way too much code. Yeah, I agree with that. And that's the reason why I'm thinking that a circle, like a sphere or a circle 2D, or probably not a sphere because it's not 3D, would be better in this case. It's going to make it a little bit easier to, it's going to make it a lot easier, and it's going to be one of those things where, okay, if I make the circle like slightly smaller than it, you're probably not going to notice if you like get killed like right at the edge. And if you do, I just tell you it's a skill issue and it's your fault. I think that's appropriate, right? Yeah, but we didn't see anything that deals with geometries, and so I don't want to have to calculate it myself. And I didn't see anything. Well, I guess like Rapier would do it, but Rapier is such a big, heavy library. Although part of my resistance could also be that I'm really tired now, because we've been streaming for 4.5 hours. And so it's possible that maybe what I need to do is just wait until Wednesday, when we're back on this again, and fix it. Oh, distract myself by playing your game? Yes, I will. I saw you post it. So, no, wrong mouse. I want. Where is my chat? That wasn't chat. This is chat. Vivax. We killed your site. I know. Is that Itch? We killed Itch? Yep. All 32 of us. Oh yeah, that is Itch. That's so weird. Okay, now it's back again. Hold on, let me see if I can. I have to also switch into. Hold on. Are you actually switching the right keyboard thing? I have no. Oh, I need to. Okay, hold on. Open my keyboard settings, and I need to add in a normal keyboard. Wait. How do I add in another one? It's been so long that I've forgotten how to add multiple keyboard sources. Okay, import, keyboard shortcuts. Okay, text input. There's one. Why can't I add another? Oh, there it is. Okay. I am definitely tired. I'm missing all the fun things. Okay, where's QWERTY? Oh, is QWERTY just normal ABC? QWERTY is normal just ABC. Okay. So there's that, and then now I should be able to, there it goes, switch back and forth between the two. So now we can run the game. All right, so what is it? Left click, red cannon, right click, blue cannon, and then, oh, there's just R for restart. So I didn't even need to do that. Oh, so you're literally just shooting to move around. That's great. Oh, I love it. I am also forgetting immediately which side is which. I'm almost, okay, there we go. This is good. It feels really good too. I like it. It is surprisingly harder, maybe not surprisingly. It's, oh, you need to get that momentum up. Oh, but like when it spins so much, like I have trouble seeing which side I'm on. And then I just slow myself down and screw myself up. But yeah, it's or just take the intended path. How do I know what the intended path is? Come on, there's no way to tell that this wasn't the intended path by just falling down because I don't know what I'm doing. Come on. And now that I'm down here, I'm screwed, right? Well, it's not like you gave me a button to restart the game, so I mean, not when I keep on shooting myself back down. When I'm at the top. Oh, nope, that's the wrong direction. Yeah, yeah, I killed my own momentum by accident. Because at a specific time, I want to do that. There we go, okay. Nope, now back to the start again. Got to control that RPM, yeah. It's good. Oh, that's... There's something weird that feels about the timing. Oh, no, okay. Nope, okay. Well, back down here again. It feels like the Jump King genre of the game. It does feel like that. I feel like, I think the thing that I have trouble with is once it spins fast enough, which is probably like completely intended. Once it spins fast enough, it's really hard for me to tell which side I'm on. And so like I want to control and like reduce the speed of spinning, but that also reduces my speed too. But those jumps are like that'd be a speedrunner's dream here, is like, and it would look so cool if you learned how to like control it really well and speed run it. I almost sometimes I'm allowed to shoot more often than others. I haven't figured out the rule of like when that happens. But if I can shoot them like both pretty close to each other, I can do some interesting things. Yeah, sometimes it clips into the wall. That's fine. It's a game jam game. I doubt there is yet, but like who knows? I could see like games like this are great to watch. Like I love watching these type of games as speedruns because the speedrunners make it look so easy. Okay, nope. I keep on going backwards when I want to go forwards. And part of it is I keep on confusing blue and red again, and with the left and right mouse button, which is not helpful. not good. Oh, nope, that didn't spin me around like I thought it was going to. Oh, you were able to beat it, Vivex? Congratulations, good job. This is pretty awesome. I love the fact that it was made with bevy too. Took a gamble to hope that the blue was on the right, but it was not. I feel that there's something where I can force that really high bounce if I like maybe shoot really close to the ground, into the ground, but I don't actually know if that's what I was doing. Or if like somehow it caused that clipping to happen, because then I can bounce really high, like that. It's almost like I want to shoot up and then down right away. Oh, wait. Is the thing where as soon as oh, I get it now. Okay, so I lose the bullet until I hit the ground again. That's the rule. Oh. Nope. Okay. There was something, I could swear I was doing like multiple. Yeah, I'm able to every once in a while fire twice in the air. I don't know what causes that though. But yeah, this is really cool. I like the movement. The movement is super smooth, which is great. I love smooth movement games. Oh, there's a bullet stuck in the wall. We're trying to get ourselves, because then we can jump really high. Your company was almost called Smooth Mover Games. Oh, nice. That's I feel like most people don't actually care what the game company is named. They only care about the name of the game. Except if they get like really big. If you come up with like multiple hits in a row, then people chat about it and start talking. But having like a weird, interesting name, I think it's like a help as long as it's not really, really weird. I like this though. Yeah, this is super good. I like it a lot. Oh, I keep on clicking outside the box, then right click screws me up. Nope. Oh, okay. Whatever. Your game wants me to be down here. Yeah. You went simple. Cerberus Game Labs. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. Nope. Okay. Well, we're I apparently am not good at not being in here. This is my favorite place. This is where I live now. And I'm still mistaking left and right with red and blue. And I don't know how to like fix my brain for that. I bet if I have a left and right. Okay, so I'm using a vertical mouse, and that's probably what's really hurting. Is it's instead of like left and right, it's up and down. Yeah, the game is adorable. I agree. This game is great. I mean, that shouldn't matter much. Left, right doesn't really mean much when it starts spinning. I mean, I guess that's the problem. Is like, it all becomes a blur when I'm spinning, and therefore it's like, okay, well now I'm just. Then I panic, and then I just start firing constantly for everything, and then it all goes away. Have like a mouse and a screen as a UI that's color coded. Well, I mean, you have your own mouse, right? I'm trying to imagine what that would be like. Nope. Did not. Okay, whatever. We're back to here again. I would recommend use the movement from a different game. This is great. I keep on wanting to fire in midair after I fired a couple times. And I think that's like, I fire way too often. And I can fire twice to climb, but like, that's not as easy. It's like, point in the direction that I want to go in. Yeah, I like it. This is great. I'm in that trap of like, I just want to get out and get up. And so we're just going to sit here and stare at me, not chat, and do that all day, which is not great. The main tech used were bevy, rapier, and LTDK. What's LDTK? I don't think I've heard of that one. I've used, obviously, bevy now, and I've used rapier with GGEZ before. Oh, it's a level editor. Nice. Okay, some sort of indicator on the screen, which button is which, so people don't panic tap. Yeah, I could see that. Although, like, left click, they have the red and blue. So I think my dyslexia gets hit on it the most. I think that my guess is that most people wouldn't have the problems that I'm having after like 5 minutes. I think it takes me probably longer to get used to it. And then once I do get used to it, I'll be fine. That's my guess. But yeah, I like this a lot. This is great. I'm going to have to follow. I'll leave this up so I can follow you, and I'll put this into the stream, the description for the video too. Okay, so I think we're gonna go ahead and basically call it for a day. Let me go ahead and make sure that we have all our code committed and all that stuff. Because I just don't have the energy right now to work on the collision detection. I think we're either going to do the circles or we're going to do rapier. One of those two. So let's go ahead and like what is going on with my keyboard? It's in QWERTY mode. Okay, so I don't have config. So let's go ahead and remove config, which means I need to go into library and fix that. Let's also fix all these warnings too. So bounding circle. Okay, I'm going to leave this here as a reminder that we're going to fix it. We're going to use that maybe, possibly. Unused imports, render. Okay, so let's remove all of the unused imports. Field 0 is never used. Let's be public. Okay, that's going to be great. Oh, good. Okay. So you're good to go. I'm gonna add you. Okay, so what have we done? We have, we're creating, okay, so we are limiting bullets and spawning large asteroids. All right, and I'll push that up. I have in the video description, I have a link to the code too. And that's it. Let's see. Vlakush, hello. How are you doing today? Founder of Rustation in the Wild. I know there's not too many of us, but we are here. We're in the tall grass, so you just have to walk around. We're a rare spawn, but we're there. We get there every once in a while. Okay, so let's see. Who I'm following, who's doing some game dev right now? Jessica Mack is doing some game dev. So let's go ahead and set up a raid for Jessica. She is doing I'm an advertisements for the channel, but shaders, it looks like. So let me set up the raid. All right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will be back on Wednesday to continue with this. I usually start streaming around 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning Mountain Time, which is, what is that? 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And we go for about four and a half hours or so. Tomorrow I am going to actually be at a conference, so I won't be available to stream. But with that being said and done, thank you again for hanging out. I hope that you all have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you next time. Bye.